What's guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to episode 21 of Summer Spider. So what this was titled, So I'm Not In This One, Am I? And that's already enough of a clue that this might be a human-focused episode. And do you know what else is the other biggest clue? Loading this episode up on Crunchyroll, because, yeah. Crunchyroll has their own ratings for each individual episode. So you will go to an episode, you can see how that episode's been rated, as well as if you go to the actual show page, it has an overall rating. 1,640 votes, which is a good amount for how long it's been since this show released. I'm recording this close to 1 a.m. in the morning, British time, which is when I normally do this. So seeing 1,600 votes, it's a pretty good voter turnout for a Crunchyroll show. It's 3.5 stars. So I think it's definitely human-focused, and not in a good way either, which is... I mean, Crunchyroll just hates the human stuff. Like, in general, most vocal people are very much against the human side, but we've had this conversation before in the show because we've had plenty of times for it to come up. The human side is necessary, doesn't mean you have to like it, I think is the general consensus that I'm willing to go with. It's like, it's not the most enjoyable part of the show, obviously, but you kind of do need it to really have a full sense of what the story's doing. And I think, had the characters been a bit more likable, maybe it would be a bit better, but I don't even know if they're meant to be likable. That's the thing. I don't know if this show wants the humans to be likable, if they want us to be glad when the humans finally start having problems and being killed. Like, I genuinely don't know. And also, a lot of the human stuff has been kind of mediocre. The Hugo versus Shun fight from, like, episode 6 or 7 or whenever it was pretty bad. The humans, like, escape from the Empire as they're now fugitives on the run was really kind of poor. And now, I guess this is going to be the battle for the Elf Village? I guess that's what this episode is, based on where we were going with it last time. We've got two simultaneous wars happening, basically. We've got, in Kumoko's timeline, we've got Ertz going to war against Sariella. I always forget Sariella's, like, kingdom now. I always forget that name, but thankfully I'm getting there again. Because of Kumiko destroying their thing, and they've kind of wanted a reason to do it, and now they've got it. Kumiko is going to face off against that army alone, by the looks of things. Because she's like, oh, I caused this mess, I better clean it up. Also, ooh, lots of juicy human XP. And there's going to be a lot of juicy human XP. I forget how many men they said there was there. Like, I think it was at least 5 digits, right? I think it was like 10,000 men at the minimum. I think there might have been more. Part of me wants to say there was 50,000 men, but I don't think there was 50,000. That would be a bit insane. But if I'm right remembering that, then holy shit, she's going to get some good XP. That might be... Honestly, that amount of XP that she'd get might be the turning point for her to get her human form. Because she's been working towards her human form and getting experience and such. 50,000 soldiers probably would get her to that. So, that might be the turning point, and we might get that as, like, the season finale is like... And she's... show her human form, it's like, oh my god, it was this character all along from the human timeline, which I think is meant to be white. I think it's almost certainly going to be white as her human form. I'm just curious as to what's happening to Ariel, the Demon Lord, because of Body Brain still attacking her, and we have no way to tell her to stop, and what happens if we do fully eat her mind? What happens then? Like, that's what I'm kind of curious about, because Ariel does not have a means to deal with it. She didn't even know it was possible to do something like this. So unless she finds a way to deal with it, she's kind of stuck there. Anyway, yeah, so whilst that's going on, we then have... so, I think in that timeline as well, it's also Rexand Empire and the Holy Kingdom. I think it's a combination of all three going there. But in the Elf Army, it's definitely all three. I'm fairly certain as well. Rexand Empire obviously is going to be involved in the one we're about to look at, I think, in the Elf Village, because, well, it's Hugo leading it. Holy Kingdom obviously will be involved as well, because the Pontiff is involved. I don't know if Oates necessarily would, but they have the backing from Rexand in the original timeline, I believe. Or in Kumiko's timeline, so it would make sense they'd be here as well. So yeah, I don't see how the elves can necessarily win here. They're relying on their barrier, right? I think. but I don't think that's going to hold. I really like if you're just investing in like one barrier to keep your entire village safe. It's going to be once that goes. I don't think they stand a chance. I don't think so, especially if like Demon Lord's army is also present and is going to be doing stuff. And if Kumiko is in fact there, or in any way helping, like, is she gonna? Which side would she take in that engagement? If she is white, then she'd be supporting the Demon Lord side. Or maybe she'd try and broker a peace, maybe. I doubt she'd do that, but... well, she'd do whatever it would take to save the world from apocalypse, because of the information she got, and that's what she told Gilly Gilly. I'm gonna call him Gilly Gilly. Like, that is just the easiest name for me to remember of all of them that he's given. So I'm just gonna call him Gilly Gilly. Because A, it's fun to say, B, it's gonna be very memorable for me. But yeah, we kind of explained to Gilly Gilly that no, we can't. We can't stop the attack on Mother because we didn't even realize it was going on at the time, and now we have no way of contacting Body Brain to stop. And we have to interfere with the humans. I don't think we explicitly said why we're interfering with the humans, but we said no, I can't stop. I think that was all she told him. And it was interesting to see I can't say that word. The difference in Kumiko's speech pattern in her internal monologue and how she thinks to herself and how she actually speaks out loud to someone. Because that's kind of like one of the first real times we've properly spoken out loud to someone, you know? I think when we were speaking with Administrator D, I think we were just using our internal monologue, and because Administrator D runs the entire system, basically, she can hear the internal monologue if she chooses to, so... I think that's how it works. I don't remember her speech being different when speaking with D, but it definitely was with Gilly Gilly. So it might be giving a further hint as to who she was in the real world, not that I really care or it matters, honestly. Who their old identities were, I don't care for, really. The only thing I care for is that we have a couple that are not accounted for in Elf Village or Dead or anywhere else. I think there was 2 that are unaccounted for, and right at the beginning of, right at the end, of the episode, we saw 2 characters. We had, like, what looked like a mage in the army, that's just, like, rank and file mage, I guess. And then we had someone practicing with blades, I think, almost potentially like a assassin type or something, I don't know. Maybe assassin's a bit of a stretch, considering the attire they were wearing. But I'm going to assume those 2 people probably are in some way related to the 2 unnamed ones thus far. But maybe we'll see them in action here if this attack is going to go down. But yeah, I'm just going to shut up. We're going to get into the episode. I guess we'll see what happens. I'm fully expecting no Kumiko in this one based on the rating and based on the title. We'll see how it ends up looking. I just hope, if we do have the Elf Village fight, I hope it looks good. Like, every other human fight thus far, I have not really thought too much of. Like I said, Shun versus Hugo was kind of terrible sound design mostly. The escape from the kingdom and Sophia and all that stuff with Hugo, like, that whole thing was kind of piss poor, really. And apparently that was outsourced. I have no official source saying that, but apparently a lot of people are saying that was outsourced, so that might explain it. But I just hope, for a big event like this, it looks good. Or at least tolerable and actually flows well and has good sound design and stuff, because Human Side thus far has not had that attention. He is hoping it does. So, as per usual, these are time-based format access here on YouTube. If you want to see the full picture in pitch, you can go to my Patreon down description below. £4 a month gets you access to all picture in pitch reactions I do on the channel, which is everything from the current seasonal lineup, as well as Patreon request shows such as World Trigger, Symphony G, and Lock Horizon Season 2. We also have movie reactions, and currently ongoing is a movie poll to vote on which movie you watch this month. Currently in the lead is I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, I believe. I haven't checked on it actually recently, but it was leading by about 1 vote. We have had at least 1 new Patreon join since I checked that, though, so maybe that vote swung a different way. Guess we'll see. But we've got only a couple more days to vote on that. It ends on midnight the 8th at British summertime. So, haven't got long. If you want to vote today or tomorrow, that's the best chance you've got. But yeah, here on YouTube we do time-based, so bottom left of the screen you'll see a time for the episode. I count down 3 to 1 play. Then play start the episode, I start the episode, and we should be in sync. We'll watch this one on Crunchyroll as per usual, since they're the ones who licensed it. No logos or anything, we just straight into the episode, looking at some boulders and a bit of shrubbery. That's at the moment. You use screen flash on my face, the mic, or this part of my headset to tell when scenes are transitioning. That should help me sync it up as well. So, with all that said, let's get into this week's episode, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. Washing our face. Okay, 2 days to prepare. Yeah, don't get too worked up early. Army is marching. Oh boy. Yep. Eyes are a little weird there. MP time. I said this last time, I'll say it again here. The CG for the marching army actually is decent because they actually have different walk cycles. They're not all walking 100% in unison because no army could walk 100% in unison, especially if it's a multi-day journey. It's not going to happen. There will be slightly different cadences. I don't remember Hugo having such a sassy walk, though. Oh, I didn't even mention any of Oka Sensei's stuff in the preview. Yeah, she's going through it a lot with her decision making, isn't she? I think ultimately she made the right decision. Even if it villainizes herself, at least she's keeping them safe-ish. We'll see based on how this attack goes, I guess. Whether she's actually keeping them safe. We haven't actually seen that girl either, the Word of God girl. We haven't seen her in a long time. But she was with Sword Guy. Oh, is that the Sword Guy? I think that's the Sword Guy. Okay. Okay. So not reincarnations. I mean, yeah. Yep, elves don't like you. Barrier. So it's just a big sphere. Oh boy. Yep. Nice. Wow, one swing. Yep, he's immortal. Lay siege. Ah, okay. They need to find it though. I mean, it's possible. It's definitely a possibility you should consider. Arrogance. Unless that's what they want. Arrogance. God. Ugh. Well, did you? You swung a sword at it once and were like, oh, that's good enough. Are you sure there's no, like, actual dispelling magic? Like, you don't try and bust a barrier like that, you try and dispel it normally, but sure. Okay, Sensei, what do you want? Yeah, get you free out of it. What are we going to discuss? Okay. Well, she can't tell him about the student roster skill, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Letting them know about the reincarnation. Okay. Yes, I think a comment said we had like 50,000 like Sophia had when we. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, they are just not in the same way you'd quantify in a game. Good question. Well, hmm. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Well. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Why shouldn't so happy? You think Hugo could do? Yeah, you think Hugo's that competent to organize all this himself? Like, come on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's why you fought Spooky that one time. Well, you don't have a choice. Easier said than done. Yep. Right. But that just draws attention to it, does it not? If they don't know where it is. The whole point of these was that. Hmm. Yeah, that we have no counter to that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. By counter spell. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. How about both? Yeah. Right. Okay. Hmm. They joke. I'm sure that it's gonna be a real problem, probably. I mean, yeah, you don't have a choice. You're being attacked. Right. Hmm. And why? Why would you? Why do you need to care? Yeah. No reason to risk your lives just for the elves. Hmm. It's not like the elves would extend you that luxury either. To be honest. Maybe Potimus would because he kind of cares about these reincarnations to an extent as well. But yep. Mm-hmm. I think you will. Right. God, the elves are so complacently arrogant. Huh? Huh? How did you get in? Ninja. Okay. Just a little bit. Well, oh, oh, exploding sword, huh? Jesus. Jesus. Exploding swords, huh? Why would you forge a sword for it? Mm-hmm. Alex. Yep, it's oh no. The barrier's going down. The barrier's going down so badly. Oh boy. They can't escape. Mm-hmm. Oh, there she is. Okay. Wondered where she would end up being. I don't think you have much hope here. Well, I don't know why, but this feels like a Fire Emblem thing. I don't know why, I just get Fire Emblem vibes from this. Maybe it's just I want to play Three Houses again, but... Class roster. Natsume dies here. Hmm. Yeah? That was a weird effect. Oh, hello. Sliding into your DMs like... Sorry. Just floats away. Not actually floating, but it looks like she's floating when you don't see her legs. What is going on? Poor horse. Okay. That's a weird shot to pause on. Jesus. Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. She's lost it. Wow. Oh my god, that was a terrible shooting animation. Holy crap. Her pose as well. Like, oh my god. Mm-hmm. I mean, how do you expect that to work? Oh. Okay. It's pretty good. You lose count after the first few thousands. Oh. That quick teleport was dope. Okay. Oh, shit. Yeah, force kill your own student. Sure about that? Quite possibly. Holy shit. Sophia? But he's still meant to die in this, right? No, it doesn't. Who intervenes? Um. Yep, here comes Shum. That was kind of a mediocre interception. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Eh. Okay, as human side things go, it was probably the best fight they've had, but the bar was not that high, and it still hasn't raised it that much higher. Honestly, there were some decent moments, but there were some pretty moments as well. Introduced a bunch of characters as well this episode. God, I have a tough time remembering names at this point. Do we have enough credits this time? Yeah, we have a small after credits, so we'll stick around for that. Well, so here's the thing with the elves in the forest. You're like, forest is our home. You want to try and attack us in the forest? Okay, let's burn the forest. I mean, that is my first thought if I was to wage a war against them. But all right, post credits. Here we go. Lower dead elves. Fourth Prince of Anlake Kingdom. Okay. Huh. Be forever me. Okay. Okay. That was like I said, it's the best human fight we've had, but it's still not that good of a fight. Like that's the problem. It's like here's the thing with the human side, right? I'm actually all for the human side of it. I think it's a nice contrast to have two parallel stories and see how they eventually merge together. I've liked that aspect of the show. I obviously really like Kumoko's side. It's very easy to like Kumoko's side since that's clearly the main focus of the entire show is Kumoko's journey. I think the early bits were a bit. It was a lot of a slow build up, and honestly, by episode 5, I could have dropped the show, but I was like, no, I'm in it for the long haul. This is clearly a longer paced show that is gearing up towards its finale, and then ultimately further content beyond that if we get announced like sequels and such. I think this show's big enough that it will probably get a sequel. I hope it does, because otherwise it's going to feel like a waste of a learning experience for the most part, trying to get into this universe so much. But if it boosts the manga or light novel sales, then I'm sure everyone's going to be fine. I think everyone says go read the light novel rather than the manga, right? Because the manga like completely cut the human side and kind of messed with the pacing, right? Or is it web novel? Wait, hang on. No, because it's web novel and light novel versions. I think it just depends on which one's translated. I still don't remember. I don't care enough either, honestly. I'm not going to go read this after the series is finished. We either get season 2 and I continue on with it, or I just don't care. I think it's the honest answer there. But what was my point? So Kumiko's side of things makes sense. We've seen some of the ridiculous skills she's had. We had the Arab fight. The fights in general of this show are not its highlights, I don't think. I would not prioritize, like, if I was to sell this show as, like, what's the one thing it does that is just, like, amazing and better than anything else, I would not say fighting. Kumiko's fights have been decent. I'm still waiting for the fight against Ariel, because I want that to be a hella awesome fight. I kind of want to see how Kumiko deals with her human army, whether we get to see all of that or not. Whether that actually be episode 22 or not, I don't know. But, yeah. Human side of things, just not the greatest. I'm not going to complain about the CG, because as CG goes, this show actually has some of the better CG I've seen in a non-dedicated anime. So, when you have full CGI shows, like Land of Lustrous, for example, a lot more budget and stuff gets put into the CG because that is the main way you're showing the entire anime. You're not using traditional animation. CG is usually just a budget-saving thing, so you can do more action-based stuff on a cheaper budget. You just have a model, and then you just make the model do whatever you want it to do, and you can reuse certain things, like for the army marching, which I think was the most notable reason that I think most people would use CG. You have, like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of characters you want to be in motion. Traditionally animating that is just so much effort for not really much value, in a sense. All you need to know is, like, they're moving. That's all you need to convey, is that the army is moving. And so you can do, like screen shake or speed lines or something to convey that in traditional animation if you just want to have them static, or you can go the CG route. Most CG routes end up making the same mistake, which is they don't have enough different types of walk cycles, and they don't have enough variance in the timings of when they execute those walk cycles, so they're always in unison perfectly. It's like, never going to happen. This show actually did that properly. We said that last episode, I'll say it again this episode. The actual fighting, though, not so great. Even Shun's introduction into this fight as he comes down to save Oka-sensei, not that great. Great reveal with Faye flying overhead and Shun coming down in her eyes. I like that. But then him coming down, just the most mediocre sword clashing sound I've ever heard, and it's not even from the right direction. Like, realistically, Shun's sword should be coming down and smacking Hugo's into the dirt. That's what he should be doing. He shouldn't be coming down like this and then going like that afterwards, because that's just going to tear your spine in half. Like, come on. Realistically, he needs to, like, just smash the sword down out of Hugo's way and just, like, force Hugo to, like, back off like that in, like, whoa, where are you? Or to be like, holy shit, my sword just got pummeled down. Like, like, I just think the human fighting is just not well done. Like, I don't think they have enough care to know what works, in a way. Sounds weird to say. I don't want to bash the animators and stuff, because they're doing a good job with what they've got. But it just doesn't feel like the same love has been put into the choreography of the fight and the pacing and storyboarding of the fight as what Kumiko has been given in hers and what other shows would do with their fights as well. Like, if you want to see good close-quarter combat, go look at Vivi. Vivi has done close-quarter combat really well, and I'm sure with this week's episode coming up, tomorrow in fact, for Vivi, I'm fully expecting some more great close-quarter combat since we're at that point of the story. But this show just doesn't hit that at all. And it kind of like... It's like... Just saying they're fighting is all it's meant to be doing. It's not meant to be, like, awe-inspiring or, like, super interesting and super engaging. Not like, like other hype moments in series finales and such, where it's like the big fight comes and the power is finally unleashed, essentially. Like, look at Slime's Megiddo. Like, the Megiddo from that time I got reincarnated as Slime in Season 2, If you have not seen any of Season 2 yet, I won't spoil too much. I obviously, the skill Megiddo I have kind of spoiled, but you won't know when it comes. I'm just saying that skill was not overly flashy, but it fit the theme of that episode so goddamn well, and it was just incredible to see, and the way they used it as well. Like, that... You guys know what scene I'm talking about when I say that one guy, the commander... Yeah, you remember that scene? That was just brilliant usage of the skill. It's like all that, and then you have that moment. It's like, oh god, and then everything that happened after that as well. It's like the like that entire final arc of Slime was just so fucking good. I just wish that same attention kind of got put into this, but it just didn't. I don't want to make too many Slime and this show comparisons because they're not the same show in what they're trying to do, but there are so many things that Slime has learnt and done properly that this show could really have learnt from. Honestly, I don't want to shit on the studio too much, but I think Milipensi is not the studio that should have got this show. I don't think this is the studio that should have been working on this. Like, could you imagine? Could you imagine if Spider got picked up by a bigger studio? Like I said, Milipensi is not a bad studio. Well, they've done one show between now and 2017, and that was Copcraft. And they did the 2016 Berserk and its sequel. So they're not a well-established studio. This is their biggest work they've ever taken on, I would argue. Since Berserk, anyway. Berserk is obviously the biggest, I think, the bigger project. And it's sad to hear of, it was sad to hear of Kentaro Miura passing away recently. But I just think, I think the studio, it was the wrong choice of studio, quite simply. A different studio, I think, would have given this a much needed... I don't know if that's enough, though. I don't know if my critiques of the show necessarily end with visuals, though. But, you know, I'm just getting my thoughts out there. It's hard to put into words. I will be thinking a lot about this show as we're in the finale now. We've got 3 more episodes, right? This is 24, not 25? Yeah, so we've got 3 more episodes left of this. We've still got to see the resolution of this fight, whatever the Shun Hugo fight's going to be, which is, I am not looking forward to it. I don't think it's going to be a good fight at all. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to be a good fight. Based on their last fight, I don't think they're going to give us anything too special to watch here. And then we've got Kumiko potentially against Ariel, and everything that's going on. I don't know if we're going to do the big reveal of who Kumiko ends up being. Not only we've got Kumiko versus Ariel, we've got Kumiko versus that entire army that's coming from Oats to attack Sariella. So there's a lot to do in 3 episodes, realistically. I hope they don't cliffhanger some of those big fights for a second season, because that will really, really suck. Unless they announce, oh, the second season's coming next season. It's like, Jesus. That would be way too rapid a turnaround, and would probably explain why this series kind of didn't look the greatest. If they had already been diverting attention to the next season already. But I guess we'll see. I hope this gets a second season. I don't normally hope for this. I normally hope seasons, shows stick with the same studio throughout their entire run. But I kind of hope another season, another studio picks up this show and gives it a refresh. Because Log Horizon Season 1 to Season 2, when it went from who was it? Satellite to Studio Dean, wasn't a great big change, but I quite liked look at Season 2. I would like to see Spider get a bit of a glow up with a different studio, but we'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed that one as per usual. I know the human side is probably not super liked, but for what it's worth, the human side's fine until they start getting into fights, and then it kind of falls apart even more than it already was kind of with. But leave a comments what you thought. Anything else important I missed? Any clarifications on some of the names that were dropped as well, just so I can help my memory, because I'm terrible with names, especially this late into the season. It's like I've got fairly cemented into my memory most of the character names of the shows I watch. Anything beyond that, you're asking a bit too much of me. Introducing new characters at this point, you good luck. But don't forget to hit subscribe. We're so damn close to 1,000 subs. Like, so damn close. I think I looked just before I started this. We're at 999. Like, come on. How much closer can I get before we hit 1K? We've been hovering around the 990s for, I think, the past week. So, if you can help push me over to that 1,000, it would be greatly appreciated. And be a huge boost to hit the end of season goal nearly a month early. So, thank you everyone for watching. Until next time. See you guys later.